Brand new video. Today we're doing two NBA player props here on PrizePicks for Tuesday, October 22nd. NBA opening night, you guys. We got the two-game slate. Minnesota Lakers, the nightcap, and then Boston, New York to start off the night. Two player props, you guys, in this video that I do like for the NBA opening night slate. Before we get started, you guys, take a look in the description below of this video. Join the Discord, $9.30 per month, 31 cents per day. That is where I post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks. We're going to continue to absolutely print all NBA season long. Again, NBA videos coming every single day. If there's NBA games, essentially more than one NBA game each day, I will have a YouTube video with two free player props. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, link in the description below for the Discord. Super positive community. I also want to talk about really quickly, you guys, Daily Grind Fantasy, the DGF DFS optimizer, you guys, absolute elite tool. We can see here, it does all the hard work for you, takes lines from all the major sports books, gives you a percentage odds to hit, line discrepancies. Again, the top play currently on the PrizePicks board is going to be Jeremy Grant under 24.5 points plus assists, because it's listed at under 24.5 at minus 125. It's listed at 21.5 on the Caesars, giving us these type of discrepancies. Obviously, you'd have to go to these books, go back to PrizePicks to see these line discrepancies. Daily Grind. The DFS optimizer does all of this for you. There's a link in the description below. You can get a 25% off your first month at Daily Grind Fantasy, you guys. Again, a research betting tool that I do use every single day. I'm going to continue to use this and print with this all NBA season. So again, link in the description below for that. But let's not waste any time, you guys. NBA season is here. Tuesday, October 22nd, NBA opening night. Two player props that I do like, one from each game. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. So the first play is going to be a points plus assist prop. And it's going to be, honestly, a low-key one that I feel like has elite value. And again, this isn't maybe a household name. I feel like if you really know ball, you obviously know Miles McBride. It's Miles McBride, a.k.a. Deuce McBride. I like his over 10.5 points plus assists. We're taking a look at this game here. 5.5 point spread. Boston's going to be 5.5 point favorites at home. Obviously, with the ring ceremony, Boston's getting their rings. They're going to be 5.5 point favorites. I just feel like that's just what's going to happen, right, in that situation. Any given night on opening night. But the Boston Celtics Knicks here, Knicks are a completely revamped team overall. But let's just get into why I like this play. So we look at the Knicks depth chart, and they're going to be without Precious Achiuwa. They are also out with Mitchell Robinson, are both out, right? So both of these guys, Achiuwa and Robinson, are depth guys. Obviously, their depth is extremely thin, right? We talk about their starting five, which we know is super elite. Brunson, Bridges, Hart, Anunoby, and Karl-Anthony Towns. And after that, I mean, it's a crapshoot on who's really going to get minutes except for Miles McBride. We know Miles McBride is going to be a lock for at least 20-plus minutes in this game. Again, I could even see him getting some minutes, maybe even potentially more minutes than Josh Hart, depending on how lineups shake out. But I think 20-plus minutes in this matchup for Miles McBride is pretty safe. I think given how he finished last season, he was playing 40-plus minutes in the playoffs with all the injuries the Knicks had. And heading into this season, I think he's, he got that extension in the offseason. He's just going to get the minutes. Look at the depth chart, you guys. The depth chart, I mean, Miles McBride is the sixth man on this team, and it's the opening night of the season. I don't expect Tom Thibodeau to just run his starters crazy minutes. So 20 minutes, I think, is fair. And also, when you look at the Celtics side of things, with Porzingis being out, the Celtics are going to be more minutes, which, again, Pritchard more minutes means Miles McBride more minutes, which, again, I definitely think both of those correlate, and I definitely think that's what we're going to see here in this one, as, again, Miles McBride and Peyton Pritchard both have lines over on PrizePicks. But at 10.5 for Miles McBride, it's super elite, right? We look at how Miles McBride essentially performed in the preseason. Look at these games for him in the preseason, where we saw Knicks starters play normal minutes too. Like, this is actually rotation scenarios in the preseason. We saw him play 35 minutes against Charlotte, 18 points, 5 assists. That's good for 23 PA. He played 24 minutes against Minnesota, 12 points, 3 assists for 15 PA, and then had 22 points and 3 assists here for 25 PA against Charlotte. So 15 plus PA in all 3 preseason games. I think in some of these games, actually, he played similar minutes to Josh Hart, which I could see, like I said, Miles McBride getting minutes over Josh Hart, depending on how the game flow of the game does go. But going back to last season, again, there's a link in the description below for Outlier. It's another research betting tool that I do use, 7-day free trial with the link in the description. Over 10.5 PA. In games last season when Miles McBride played 21 minutes, he's over this line in 28 of 35 games when he plays 21 plus minutes. 28 of 35 for an 80% hit rate. I'm not sure why we get this line here, even on the board at 10.5. I would play it at 11. But again, if it does bump to 11 and his PRA is still at 12.5, which it is right now, I would play that as well. But I love 10.5 PA, you guys. I think there's absolute elite value when you also consider his over 1.5 3-pointers made. I mean, Miles McBride, that odds -130 on DraftKings, -135 on Caesars, -140 on BetMGM to go over 1.5 3-pointers. I mean, if he can get his 6 points just off 3-pointers, obviously there's assist upside with all the weapons that are in that Knicks offense now. With with Towns being the center, we automatically switch from Mitchell Robinson, who's not really an offensive-minded center, to Towns, one of the better, or if not a top 5 offensive player from the center position in the NBA, giving him upside, assist upside there. And then Mikal Bridges, obviously, I think, I don't know, probably very similar offensive output to Dante DiVincenzo. But then OJ Anunoby's on the floor, so it's just a ton of upside for Miles McBride here in this one. I think, again, like he said, I said he plays a little bit more minutes, with especially if Peyton Pritchard gets a ton of minutes as well. I like this spot a lot. I think it's a sneaky play. So Miles McBride over 10.5 points plus assists is going to be the first play. Second play here, again, I got to go to AD. I think AD was actually my most bet on player last season, I want to say, according to like my PrizePicks recap. But I like his over 40.5 points plus assists. I think opening night in Los Angeles, JJ Redick's the new head coach. We saw and we've seen the quotes in the offseason. Again, if you don't know, I'm a Laker fan, so just keep that in mind when moving forward throughout the season. But AD at 40.5, we look at this game here. Home game for the Lakers, obviously, 219.5 game total, 1.5 point spread. I'm expecting this game to be close. These teams have faced off kind of in the preseason, I think, once or twice. But we look at AD at 40.5. I just love this matchup. 56 games, 73% hit rate, which, again, strong enough hit rate for me any day of the week for taking a player prop. I think any hit rate over 65 to me is very favorable. We look at how AD has been playing in the preseason, and then we kind of look at how JJ Redick wants to use him. We've seen JJ Redick say he wants to use Anthony Davis as the hub of an offense. He's even quoted in recently saying, this is just last week, we believe that's our job. It's our job to empower him on both sides of the basketball to have a monster year. And I thought he had a monster year last year, but I think with the way we want to play, he's going to be featured like he always is, but he's also going to be hopefully perpetually involved. Like, they are trying to get AD the ball. We've seen it in the preseason. All right, he's coming off a game. Again, this game here, LeBron didn't play, but he had 35 and 10 and 4 in 34 minutes. He had 24, 12 and 2 in 26 minutes against the Warriors, and then 11, 8 and 1 in 25 minutes against Milwaukee, and then 17, 8 and 3 in 18 minutes against Phoenix. So if you kind of balance this out, I mean, if we, per 36 minutes for these preseason stats, it's like way more than 40 PRA for Anthony Davis, right? Way more. And specifically just this matchup alone, even going back to last season really quickly, like we're talking about 40 PRA. Anthony Davis last season averaged 24.7 points, 12.6 rebounds, and 3.5 assists, which is around 40 PRA. Like, that's literally what he averaged last season, as just the regular season. Like, he averaged 40 PRA per game. And we're getting this here against Rudy Gobert, who Anthony Davis has absolutely torched since he's been with the Lakers. 58, 43, 55, and 58 PRA in these last 4 games, essentially, that Anthony Davis has faced off against Rudy Gobert. Just absolutely monster numbers against Rudy Gobert. And, I mean, he had 2 games last season, 43. Before that, 55. And back in the 2020 year, 58. But even looking at last season, there was a game where Anthony Davis got hurt early against the Timberwolves. You can see here he played 12 minutes, finished with 4, 4, and 3 in those 12 minutes. But then we saw backup Jackson start. Now, I'm just kind of breaking down how centers, especially in the specific system, obviously the Lakers system is different, can thrive against Rudy Gobert. Like, Rudy Gobert is a good paint presence, but minutes 59, Jared Allen 54, Jokic 53, Jokic 47, Jaren Jackson 47, Sabonis 44. And I mean, these are guys, this is like not even the full season of players, but these are guys that are, offensive, hub type of players like Anthony Davis, right? Anthony Davis is not on this list because he's considered a power forward, right? I mean, it's debatable. Besides Embiid and Jokic, AD is just right there. I think he's the 3rd best big in basketball. If you consider defense as well, I mean, AD is easily the top 3 big man in the NBA, and it's just a great spot. It's barbecue chicken versus Rudy Gobert. I think there's really no reason, unless there's some crazy blowout, this shouldn't at least have a super high floor. I mean, I think a floor for AD's PRA in this matchup is around 38. We can see this line did open up at 39.5, has bumped up to 40.5, back down to 39.5, and then bumped up to 40.5. And you can see at 39.5, it's minus 145 on DraftKings to go over 39.5 PRA. We get a 1 point bump on PrizePicks, which is pretty standard when we talk about these PrizePicks bumps here. But I love this spot for AD in a close game at home to open the season. I think he's just going to get a ton of usage, and the volume will be there for him to soar over this line pretty easily. And like I said, he just torched Rudy Gobert in his career. But 2 player props, you guys. NBA opening night, Lakers, T-Wolves, Knicks, Celtics, 2 player props. Again, drop a like on this video, you guys. Check out all the links in the description below. Hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.